I hate a self-help book. I especially hate it when they bring God into it. I just feel like a lot of these books, especially if it's trying to, convince you of something, they're very rigid and it's, focused on this one polarized opinion and there's very little nuance for it. So why, as a hater, am I making a video about the ultimate self-help enlightenment book for artists that includes a lot of God talk? Well, let's get into it.
Literally warns you that when you start, shit is going to go down in your life.
This book is dangerous.
So this is The Artist's Way by Julie Cameron. You might have heard of it. The Artist's Way is a fascinating and fun 12-week-long program of exercises and exploration to help you loosen up your artistic self. It's designed to help you unblock your creativity and, give you a more fulfilled and free creative approach to your art or to life in general. It's known to have changed a lot of lives of people. If you go on TikTok and YouTube, if you go on Amazon, there are so much good reviews about how this changed everybody's lives. But also on Amazon, you will see some complaints about how there is just so much God talk. Because Cameron does use a lot of God language throughout. Now, for someone like me and maybe you, we might have difficult relationships or complex relationships with the concept of a God or Christianity. Now, a disclaimer about how I am approaching all of this. I was raised Protestant Christian and I went to BYU for college. So I am kind of trained, or not trained, that's so bad. I am used to in my head automatically replacing the concept of a patriarchal Judeo-Christian God with the divine or creator or, deity. So that is part of the reason it might be a little more easy for me to approach this and to skip past the discomfort of it. There's still discomfort, but I'm kind of used to it. My own spirituality is another video, but I do believe in the higher power. It just may not be, Heavenly Father. Kathy Pham, another YouTuber, made a good video about this talk of spiritual elasticity that Cameron goes into. But I will read a passage that kind of sums up what she's saying. Says, literally on the second page, says, remind yourself that to succeed in this course, no God concept is necessary. In fact, many of our commonly held God concepts get in the way. Do not allow semantics to become one more block for you. Period. Oh, this can be the goddess, the universe, the divine, like I said. Maybe it's even yourself. But I understand this hesitancy, And I know even with that sentiment, it's hard to still be like, oh, but I'm reading it and it says God. I understand that it's a little hard. But here are a couple reasons why I'm doing it anyway and why you should join me. Number one, I should tell you my reasons. If you don't know me, what a shame. I'm kidding. I'm Mara Joy. You can call me Joy. I am an actor and a content creator. I was raised in Manila, the Philippines, and I am now based in Chicago. I did a BFA in acting. I graduated in 2023. So that is my main artistic practice. I am an actor and I love to write and create videos like these, hopefully. But yeah, so that's kind of my main thing, right? And if you follow me on social media and other platforms like my TikTok or Instagram, you might know that I have been going through a very long and arduous artistic visa process that will allow me to continue working in the United States as an artist. And it's been a lot, if you can imagine. And I feel like this process has, obviously my priorities shifted as this was happening. I was just juggling so much and there's so much I want to do, I'm hoping that in this process, I find a way to align my priorities again and hopefully get back into creating the things I want to create. It's a little harder for me now to memorize lines or to go through the routine that usually keeps me in check as an actor. So I think I'm just needing a little more help. And also I want to confront some negative beliefs I have as an artist. For example, I was in the acting major. And because I was in the acting major and that was separate from the music, dance, theater major, I've always kind of boxed myself into the fact that I'm not a singer, I'm not a dancer, but I do enjoy singing, I do enjoy dancing, and I'm wanting to confront the thought of why did I box myself so much? box myself in so much, because this past month, which was Filipino American History Month, I got to perform with Circa Pintig, which is Chicago's historic Filipino theater community, and I sang for them and everything, and it just felt so freeing. I loved it. And yeah, I just want to confront these, negative beliefs. I maybe even want to question like Filipino cultural beliefs that affect me as an artist, like, how, Dalagang Pilipinas, we're the ultimate demure girls. We should, speak softly and not be too expressive. And I feel like even with a BFA, there are times when that still gets in the way. And all of these things I want to confront, and I want to just realign my life. I feel like I owe it to myself to be the best kind of artist there is, and to pursue my life in a way that honors my art, and in return I honor my community and the people around me. So that's kind of why I'm doing this. If you resonate with any of that, that might be the reason you start too. Number 2, my light is running out. Number 2, I'm going to scold you guys a little bit. As an artist, I think it does us a disservice to reject things that don't 100% align with us. As an actor, it is my sole job to take a character, to take another person's life and see it their way, and see it in such a way where I have to practice radical empathy and say, I can never say when I'm acting or taking a character, I would never do that. No, I find a way to look through their eyes and justify these behaviors. And it's not that I'm telling you that you need to believe in God, or have a sense of like very strong spirituality when you start this, but I would like to remind you that I would like to remind you that as an artist, our main thing when we show people our art, our drawings, is like, here's an interpretation of how I see this life, or how I interpret this situation or this pain. And I think that's kind of what we have to do with Cameron's text. We can look at a stained glass window of a Catholic church or the ceiling of a Sistine chapel and still think it's beautiful. It can still resonate with us. There are so many works of art that are born out of Christian spirituality that we appreciate every day. And I think it would do us a disservice to cancel out anything just because. I know the statement might be at odds with the kind of journey you'll go through for this, because it is about bettering yourself as an artist, right? But also, maybe the path to bettering yourself is outside of yourself. Maybe it is found in things that are unknown to you. Because you're not going to go on this journey if you're already, if you have all the answers. You're going on this journey to ask questions and stuff like that. And you have to be okay with the fact that you don't have answers to these questions, and these answers might scare you. At the end of the day, you are allowed to disagree with Cameron. You're allowed to disagree with the author. It's going to be fine. She's not going to come knocking on your door and go after you. You can disagree with her, but I implore you as an artist to give this book the benefit of the doubt with me. And number 3, the tools make sense. The tools of this journey is basically morning pages and the artist dates. You might already be doing these things already. I am losing light. Can you guys tell? Morning pages where you write 3 pages of anything that comes to mind every day, like a mental decluttering exercise. So basically, you write 3 pages of of streams of consciousness. They're not supposed to be polished. It's not supposed to be a novel that you can publish. It's taking things out of your mind that would be in the way of you and your creativity. And if the concept of morning pages makes you bored, Cameron says boredom is just what's the use in disguise. And what's the use is fear, and fear means you are secretly in despair. So put your fears on the page. Now, some people are more militant about the 3 pages. What I do is I set a timer for 15 or 17 minutes in the morning, and whatever comes first, like the timer or the 3 pages, that's what I do in the morning. It can be a page for you. Whatever helps you, write down first thing in the morning. The artist date is intentional time that you spend with yourself as an artist. This has no expectations. You don't even have to do anything related to your art. And the concept of these morning pages and the artist dates is to build an ecosystem for you that allows you to constantly fill and empty your well. Now, what does that mean? To empty your well, you you send out, right? Which is your morning pages. You unclutter what's on your brain and you refill the well by giving yourself images, sensory images. She says that, the artist's brain is a sensory organ, and these images are only really filled through sensory stuff like taste, touch, smell. She encourages you to go out in the world to actually, listen to things. Maybe don't put on your headphones if you go on a walk. So that's the system she is encouraging you to do. I like these tools because they're about showing up for yourself as an artist and building habits that continually nurture your creativity. And if the tools make sense, I hate to say that the journey might make sense too. Finally, last, this is my commonplace journal, right? I write quotes from everything. I write all my favorite quotes down. And if I'm reading a book, I will write things I want to remember down. And I've already gotten quite a bit. So I'm going to read some to you. In dealing with the suicide of the nice self we have been making do with, we find a certain amount of grief to be essential. We must allow this bolt of pain to strike us. Remember, this is useful pain. Lightning illuminates. There will be many times when we won't look good to ourselves or anyone else. We need to stop demanding that we do. It is impossible to get better and look good at the same time. I remember when I was like a sophomore or a freshman, I wasted so much time thinking, how do I look while delivering this monologue? I mean, not anymore, because now I serve the story. And sometimes the story demands that I am not so beautiful or pleasant to look at. And that's okay. I just remember that. This other quote, creativity is like marathon training. We want to log 10 slow miles for every 1 fast mile. This can go against the ego's grain. We want to be great, immediately great, but that is not how recovery works. I've never really thought about the concept of creative recovery. I mean, I've thought about recovery like, after a show, you take care of your voice, you stretch, blah, blah, blah. But as a performer, we can feel the need to just go, like book show after show. And there are, factors of privilege that play into this, but I've just never, I'm still interpreting the thought of what creative rest looks like to me. I love this one. But do you know how old I'd be by the time I will learn to play the piano, act/paint/write a decent play? Yes, the same age you will be if you don't. Kind of like that TikTok that says, time will pass anyway. Yeah, those are quotes that have already resonated with me and have already, impacted some reflections I've been having as an artist on this journey. So it's just been week 1 and I've already gotten quite a bit from it. I made a video mainly so that I can be accountable. I've been trying to start this for the longest time, but I have ADHD and I have trouble following such a structured journey. But you should join me. If you would like to follow along my journey, I would love to have you. You should subscribe. You should stay. And, I also want to say it is very valid and possible that at the end of this, I go, wow, I fucking hated that. I wasted my time. But I think it's a valuable and worth it journey anyway. To discover I hated that, I think I owe it to myself to discover what I would feel. And I don't know, I encourage you to start with me anyway. If you've seen this and you watch all the transformational videos of people and people saying that they've never been more creative in their life, I want to comfort you and say it's not just for the Christians. You and your skeptic little heart can benefit too. And, and if you don't, then I just encourage you to be curious and maybe ask some questions along the way. You can disagree. It's gonna be okay. I think that's it. The sun has set. I don't know if you've noticed. I've tried to film this video like 4 times, but each time it was unfocused because I wasn't on autofocus. God bless me. I will get better at this as the weeks go on. You'll see. That's all. Ingat kayo lagi. I'll see you in the next video.